Welcome to the Art Circle Public Library's Christmas in July. Today I am demonstrating how to make the sleigh ornament that is in the kit you picked up from the library. In your kit, you will find everything you need to make the sleigh ornament except for the glue. I will be using hot glue for time purposes, but I would highly recommend that you use wood glue and allow the sleigh pieces to dry overnight before painting them. The first thing I did was I took my sticks, and when you had your wood glue, you would just brush it on or take a toothpick or something and put it on. And the first one, I put the wood glue all the way down. Then I hold the two pieces together, matching top and bottom, so they're even with each other. Next, I start about an eighth or a quarter of an inch lower, and I would take the next stick and put it up next to it. But as you see, it's not exactly straight up at the top. I staggered it down. And on the other side, I'll add the other piece right here and stagger it down also. And I'll show you that. If you notice, when I'm using the glue gun, it leaves lots of glue sticking out. That makes it hard to paint your sleigh. That's why I suggest that you should use wood glue. But you put your pieces, you put your first two together. The second on each side, you would make them lower to make it look like a sleigh body. Okay? Then you would just set that aside and let it dry. Once your pieces are dry, you'll bring them out. You'll find the 4 small ones plus an extra small one. You'll also find 2 long sticks. And you'll have paint in your little kit. So the first thing I did was I took my 4, which was the body of my sleigh, and I just painted it. I will put red and white in your kit, but you don't have to use those colors. You can actually use any colors you have or that you want. The back will not be very pretty, but I still paint it just so it won't show through. I also paint the edges. You want the edges painted to give it a finished look. When I'm done painting these, I'm also going to give them a dry rub of black paint, and I will demonstrate that for you also. I'm not really great at it, but I'm going to do my best to show you. And now that I have my sleigh painted, I'm going to just push it aside. The other one I was going to paint white, but to save time I won't show you that. But I also need to paint my crossbar to match my sleigh, which is the other small stick. So I will take it and I will paint it. I will paint both sides. I'll paint the sides and the front and the back. That way, when it's hanging on your tree, if it gets turned around, it still looks great. Okay? And if you have like a piece of paper towel, that really helps because you can hold the other end with your piece of paper towel and then just paint the other side, the other end, and set it off to the side. Okay? Lastly, I would take my 2 long sticks, which are my sleigh legs. You can dye these yourself with tea water or coffee grounds and water, brown paint, whatever you want to use. I just happen to have a little bit of black paint in the closet in there, and I'm using it. But I'm just going to take it, actually using the brush I used the red with, and I'm just going to paint these 2 sticks. As you can see I'm doing here. I'm going to paint the sides also. Remember to always paint the sides. And then, when they're all finished, I'm going to set them aside, let them dry, and then I will come back and put the sleigh together. I wanted to show you the dry brush technique. I didn't do it on the red one until I was finished with it. So I'm going to show you how to do it on the white one. And all I do is I pick up a little black paint on my paintbrush, very tiny, very little. Kind of wipe it off on your palette or plate, paper plate or whatever you use. Then take it and wipe it off onto a paper towel. Then very lightly, just run it down your sleigh. You notice how it kind of makes it look like wood tone even. Then you take it and just run it once down your bar. And there is your dry brush technique. Once you have all your pieces painted and they're dry, lift up your sled piece and see which side looks the best. This side definitely looks the best. This has a lot of glue on it. So what I'm going to do is turn it over to the bad side, and I'm going to glue my runners onto the sleigh. I'm going to put a bead of glue down the middle, and you want most of the runners sticking out the front, so the back has very little runners sticking out the back. So you put about that much sticking out the back and this much sticking out the front. If you can see that. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's your sleigh, remember. Take my other stick, put it down in the hot glue. And like I said, if you want your sleigh to last longer than one season, you'll definitely have to use wood glue, but it'll be awesome. Once my runners are dry, you can see it here, I will take my 5th stick that is painted red. I'm going to put it across the top as a runner for the sled. So I'm going to put a little glue here and here and put this across the top. And there you have your basic sled there. Okay, oops, I need a little more glue here. Like I said, it's best if you use regular wood glue and then let it sit and dry. But for time's sake, I'm not going to do that. So I need to just let it sit for a minute and get dry. If you miss some places, as I did here, or you get some different paint or something on there, at the end you can go back and just brush across that. Next, I will take some jute that you will find in your kit. I will turn it upside down, and I'm going to make a hanger to hang the sled by. So I'll put put some glue on one side. And I would cut it off and do it right to the edge if I was using regular glue. But with hot glue, I do not want to burn myself. Then I bring it over to the other side. And put my jute down into it. If you want to make it really a lot more sturdier, just put a little bead over it and it will seal. It'll seal your hanger right in there. And that'll take a few minutes to dry. But now, if you do it with your wood glue, it will take longer. But leave it overnight and let it dry totally. Then when it's totally dry, you just take your scissors and snip off the extra. And there you have, there's your hanger. Next, in your kit, you will find some red and white string, some baker's twine. And what you do, you'll find some jingle bells in there also. Take your bells, thread them onto your twine. May take you a couple times. Sometimes the twine comes undone and you have to roll it back the opposite direction and make it tight again. I'm putting both of the bells on there. I saw this done somewhere else where the woman tied them on like this. I thought it was so cute. Then just take a piece of greenery. I've had this, but you can use old pieces. You can use berries. You can use just anything you want. Little pieces of greenery. Here's little pieces like this. And you can just, you design it however you want. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my 2 bells and put them on each side of my greenery. And then I'm going to tie a knot. Hopefully in the very center. I'm trying to center this. So that both of my, I'm trying to center it, if you can see that. So that both of my strings are about the same. This one's a little longer. And I'm okay with that. I'll put my bells on top and tie a double knot. Make sure you got it knotted. Then just take it. You can either hot glue it or you can tie it around. I would actually take it, tie a bow in my baker's twine for the decoration. Then I would hot glue it down onto my bar. Right here. If you can see that. And that is your mini sleigh. If you want to, you can take miniature pine cones and maybe put a mini pine cone at the top. If you wanted a pine cone like up here or down here, you can put a pine cone. I think I'll put a pine cone up inside there. There should be some little mini pine cones in your kit, or there'll be some little things you can stick in there. So here's my mini pine cone. So this is the mini sled, and I really hope you enjoy it. Merry Christmas in July.